Welcome to Kansas Future. A really unfortunate situation occurred during the Texans-Chiefs game. You're going to see Stroud throwing one to the end zone. To explain what happened, you'll see that it's his own teammate who collides directly with his left leg, causing the injury. As he rolls over, you can see something that looks quite disturbing. It appears to involve the kneecap, and there's something sticking out. I'm not sure if it's a pad, a bone, or something else, but it's definitely not ideal and not something you want to see. You could see CJ Stroud looking very distraught on the sideline. I'm not going to replay the clip, but that's what happened. If you missed it and wanted to know the details, there you go. It's just such a terrible situation, especially for Tank Dell. This is essentially a meaningless game for the Texans. They've already secured a playoff spot, but they were trying to see how they measured up against the reigning champs. It just sucks, plain and simple. Well, he was listed today as a full participant in practice for the second straight day. Kevin, usually when players practice in full for 2 consecutive days, it's a sign that they're ready to go for the upcoming game. It's certainly trending that way for Patrick Mahomes. We'll see if he has any setbacks with that high ankle sprain, but as of now, it looks like he'll be ready for the rest of the season. Meanwhile, Hollywood Brown was also a full participant in practice today, putting him on track to make his season debut this weekend against the Houston Texans. It seems he'll be back in the lineup, giving the Chiefs another weapon. Brown got hurt in the preseason with a shoulder injury, but now appears to be recovered enough to return to the field. The same is true for Patrick Mahomes, who, for the second straight day, was listed as a full participant in practice. 2 consecutive full practices usually indicate a player's intention to suit up, and Mahomes is expected to play Saturday, when the Chiefs face the Texans as they continue their push for the number 1 seed in the AFC. Right now, it looks like Mahomes will be out there, while Carson Wentz will not. Let me tell you this about Mahomes. Since becoming the Chiefs starter in 2020, he has only missed 4 games. In those games, the Chiefs have a 2-2 record. As for his opponent, CJ Stroud, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL against the blitz during the first 6 weeks of the season. How good? A 93 QBR, second only to Jaden Daniels. But since week 7, Stroud's QBR against the blitz has dropped to 20, ranking last in the league. That's a concern this week because the Chiefs blitz at the 3rd highest rate in the NFL. Now, let's discuss Steve Spagnuolo. When you watch his defense, he's incredibly creative in making life difficult for quarterbacks like CJ Stroud. Spags blitzes a ton, 4th most in the league, but what's unique is how many unblocked defenders he creates on those plays. These blitzes often lead to free rushers going untouched to the quarterback. For example, Nick Bolton blitzes from the inside and gets a free path to the quarterback for an easy sack. Or take a cornerback blitz with Nazi Johnson coming off the edge, completely unaccounted for, and getting straight to the QB. Here's what's fascinating. Spags uses disguises brilliantly. In one play, the defense showed pressure, prompting the quarterback to adjust the play. But then the Chiefs dropped into a cover 2 defense, forcing the quarterback to hold onto the ball, leading to a sack by Chris Jones. This constant adjustment puts immense pressure on offenses. If I'm Houston, I'm worried about the Chiefs exploiting their weakness in the interior offensive line, specifically the guards. Spags loves running pick stunts, where a linebacker wraps around to pin the guard, leaving defensive tackles free to attack. In some plays, 3 offensive linemen end up blocking nobody. This issue must drive Houston's offensive coordinator, Bobby Slowick, crazy because it happens repeatedly. Kansas City can take advantage of these situations using players like Chris Jones, Mike Daniel, or George Karlaftis to execute these stunts. If the guards aren't quick to adjust, they'll leave gaps for blitzers to exploit. The Chiefs can bring 7 defenders while the Texans only have 6 blockers, creating mismatches. Stroud will need to recognize these blitzes and get the ball out of his hands quickly, or he's going to face relentless pressure. But the main concern going into this game is the interior play. The guards are going to get picked and stunted repeatedly, and even then, you know Spags is going to show them more and prove they're not ready for it. He'll get home. So Hulk, how does this Texans offense respond to something like that? Good luck. Yeah, good luck indeed. The Chiefs also need to have a plan for Houston's bunch concept, particularly how they use Tank Dell. It's a leverage point for the Texans. They use bunch formations more than any other team in the league, allowing them to move Dell everywhere. In one play, Dell lines up as the number 1 receiver, exploiting the defender's leverage to go inside and create an open window for CJ Stroud. In another, Dell takes the inside position, understanding the point man is guarding him, and runs a negotiation route, maintaining leverage. Finally, when placed outside, Dell uses the defender's outside leverage against them to create separation. Tank Dell's speed and versatility allow Houston to line him up anywhere, inside, outside, or at the point, and run a full route tree out of the bunch. It's a crucial part of their game plan. If the Chiefs don't have an answer for this, it could cost them the game. Kansas City's defense, while improved, has struggled with blown coverages and miscommunication, especially against concepts like bunch formations. If Houston wins, this will be the reason why. Let's also consider Houston's protection issues. Stroud has been pressured on 35% of his dropbacks this season, ranking 30th in the league. Protecting him is vital, but the Texans' interior offensive line has struggled all season. The franchise wonders why quarterback play hasn't been as consistent, but the lack of protection is a major factor. Switching gears, let's talk about rookie quarterbacks. Falcons' first-year QB Jaden Daniels has been replaced by 9th overall pick Michael Penix Jr., who will start Sunday against the Giants. Kirk Cousins and his teammates were asked about the decision earlier, and here's what Cousins had to say. "It's pro football. There's a standard I hold myself to, and the team has expectations for me too. Unfortunately, I wasn't playing up to that standard consistently enough. It is what it is. You roll with it, stay ready because you're always one play away, and support Mike. My goal is to help the team find a way to win these last 3 games and make the playoffs." The results weren't good enough, but from a confidence standpoint, I don't think that was the issue. Maybe I needed to take fewer risks instead of forcing throws into tight windows. At the end of the day, it's about making great decisions all the time. Looking at the Falcons' final 3 games, they faced the Giants, the Commanders, and the Panthers. They're 1 game back of the Buccaneers in the NFC South. Let's check in with Adam Schefter to understand more about the Falcons' decision regarding Cousins. Adam, what do you know about this? The Falcons had simply seen enough. Cousins' production had declined, the team struggled in the red zone, and it seemed like he wasn't entirely comfortable throwing off the foot he injured with the Achilles. There were several factors, but ultimately, he wasn't performing at a high enough level, and the team wasn't winning consistently. That's why they decided to make the switch. Finally, Chiefs fans, let's talk about Saturday's big matchup against the Texans. Patrick Mahomes, coming off a high ankle sprain, has been a full participant in practice, but will he be at 100%? Adding to the drama, Texans defensive tackle Tim Settle Jr. issued a cryptic warning to Mahomes and the Chiefs. We'll dig into what he said shortly, but first, let's set the stage for this critical AFC matchup. Patrick Mahomes has been a full participant in practice, but we're all wondering, will he be at 100%? What's your take? Do you think Mahomes should play through the injury or rest up for the playoffs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's dive into what Tim Settle Jr. said and what it means for this game. Alright, let's talk about that bold statement from Tim Settle Jr. He didn't just say, "We're coming to win." No, he went all in with a warning. "Pat, make good decisions. I ain't making no threats, I'm making promises." Wow, that's some serious confidence, right? Settle is clearly aware of the spotlight on Mahomes, especially with that lingering ankle injury. While it's easy to dismiss this as trash talk, there's more to it. Settle is a veteran player with experience against the Chiefs, and let's be honest, this isn't the first time a defensive player has tried to get under Mahomes' skin. But considering Settle has only recorded 4 tackles in his career against Kansas City, it's interesting that he's going this hard. What do you think? Is this all just mind games, or does Settle genuinely believe the Texans can capitalize on Mahomes' injury? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Vote in our poll now. Do you think Settle's statement is a smart tactic or just a bad call? Before we dive into Mahomes' record against Houston, let's think about what Settle's comments could mean for the Texans. Now, let's take a closer look at Patrick Mahomes' history against the Texans. In his first starts against them, he's been absolutely dominant. 1,141 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, and just 1 interception. Yeah, those are the kinds of numbers that make defenses shiver. But here's the twist. Mahomes is battling that ankle injury. Will the real Mahomes show up, or will the injury affect his game? Despite the setback, Mahomes is no stranger to rising to the occasion, especially when there's a little extra motivation. Settle's comments could very well light a fire under him. If there's one thing we know about Mahomes, it's that he thrives when people doubt him. Settle might have just made a mistake by calling out one of the NFL's biggest playmakers. What do you think? Will Mahomes rise to the challenge, even with the injury? Or will the Texans' defense finally have the edge? Let me know in the comments below and vote in our poll. Will Mahomes throw for 300 yards against the Texans? Now, let's shift gears and talk about the Chiefs' offensive line. As Settle pointed out, this group has faced criticism for not always providing the best protection. With Mahomes dealing with an ankle injury, the pressure is on them to step up. Settle and the Texans' defensive line will be looking to exploit any gaps, especially with a potentially less mobile Mahomes. But here's the thing, the Chiefs' O-line has also shown resilience when it matters most. Will they be able to do that on Saturday? Can they give Mahomes enough time to make those big plays downfield? Or will Mahomes have to do more running than he'd like? Share your thoughts and drop your predictions in the comments. Alright, Chiefs fans, it all comes down to this Saturday. With Mahomes' health in question and the Texans bringing their A-game, we're in for an exciting battle. Will Settle's bold words motivate Mahomes to deliver another monster performance? Or will the Texans' defense find a way to exploit the Chiefs' weaknesses? One thing's for sure, this is going to be a game to remember. As always, we'll be here with a full breakdown after the game. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it.